Look what just showed up. One of these boxes right here is our Alu-Cab Canopy Camper from the fine folks in Cape Town, South Africa. And we are getting this bad boy installed starting on Monday.
Welcome to Hourless Life. If you didn't know, we're getting ready to drive around the world, and we anticipate that it'll be a 10 to 15 year journey.
We hope you'll subscribe to our channel, and you guys, thank you so much for all of the comments you guys have been leaving and showering us with. It's been pretty incredible and encouraging, and it really helps us to stay motivated.
This is a long and complicated process, and your support of our family means a lot.
We want this video to be helpful to you if you're looking to build out an overland vehicle, or maybe you just have questions about the overlanding lifestyle. So again, if you have any questions at all, hit us up in the comments below.
That'll help us to customize our upcoming videos in this series to answer your questions.
So far, the question that we've been getting asked the most on all our videos is, how do you afford to do this? Like, are you guys wealthy or something? And the answer is actually in a video that we put on our channel called The Long Game, and it's a really detailed, maybe too detailed, but really detailed answer to that question. So if you're interested in how we got to this point, check out that video, which I'll link right here.
But for the short answer, we can definitely bust a myth. We are not independently wealthy. We are a solidly middle-class, regular American family. We are just following our dreams, and we've made the sacrifices and taken the long-term actions to get here.
And whatever your dreams are, we want to encourage you to take an action that propels you towards that dream, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to look like ours, but whatever it is, pursue it with all that you are.
If your dream is to overland around your home country or internationally like us, our best advice is to just start with what you have. That's what we did.
We did. 3 years ago, we started with our Jeep Wrangler, and Brittany said, I want to drive around the world. And so we started modifying it into an overland vehicle. We took it into Mexico, we did Baja, we did several trips with it, and we just kind of learned what worked and what didn't. And we paid the price in some cases because we didn't really have anybody to reach out to that we knew at first. So maybe some of our experience will help you to not make some of those same mistakes. And if you ask us questions, we'll shoot you straight.
It wasn't our dream vehicle.
No.
However, we did save a lot of money by starting with what we had, and we got out there and had the experiences.
If all goes as planned, our Jeep Gladiator build should be pretty epic when it's done. But it should be noted that we couldn't have done this the way it's going to be done all by ourselves. We've been very blessed, very fortunate to have 21 companies that have gotten behind us for this global trip and become our sponsors. Not all of our gear sponsors have provided 100% discount. Most of them actually have provided a substantial discount, and we were thankful to take whatever discount because this is the gear that we wanted to take around the world.
We know people are always curious about money, so we'll just put out there that we have spent a lot of our own money on this build. However, like Eric said, it would not be the vehicle that it's going to be without the support of our gear sponsors.
We're really thankful too, so gear sponsors, if you're watching, thank you.
Throughout this series, we'll make sure to let you know when an item has been sponsored. We don't do this to be braggadocious, but because it's our ethical duty to let you know when something was sponsored in either full or in part. Every piece of gear that we've chosen was going on our Gladiator, whether it was sponsored or not. We've saved up for years to make this happen and sold almost everything that we own.
We've even had situations where some of our current sponsors have offered us pieces of equipment and we've declined them.
For example, one of our current gear sponsors offered us an awesome front bumper at a huge discount, but we politely declined because payload is so important to us and we wanted to go with an aluminum bumper. So we paid out of pocket at a really big price, but it was the right piece of gear for our build, so no regrets.
So we're so excited to tell you about our Jeep Gladiator build, so let's get to it.
Our Jeep Gladiator is a 2021 Sport S with the Max tow package. And we have a habit of naming our vehicles, so this Gladiator is named Dauntless.
Dauntless!
And the definition of dauntless is showing fearlessness and determination. And as a fun fact, when Eric was serving in the United States Coast Guard for 20 years, the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Dauntless was his very first ship.
Yeah, I was just a kid. I was 20 years old, cruising the Caribbean, busting bad guys, and it was a lot of fun. And so it's kind of nice to have the name Dauntless on this vehicle that's going to take us around the world. The reason that we went with the Gladiator Sport S with the max tow package is that that specific trim has the highest payload capacity you can get on any Jeep Gladiator. Matter of fact, the manual transmission boasts a 1,700 pound payload capacity, and if you opt for the automatic, which we did, it's 1,535 pounds. And in an overland build, payload is everything. So we actually started with a spreadsheet with that amount so we could add the right amount of gear and not really go overweight. It's really important.
This is the first of several videos in our Jeep Gladiator Overland Build series. We will be talking about the modifications that we've chosen for this global trip, where they're all happening, and the timeline for the whole build.
As most of you know who've been following our channel, we're on our 8th year of full-time travel, owning no home or no property. We're actually at my brother-in-law's place here in Denver right now.
As a result of all of our years of travels and the relationships that we've developed over that time, our build is going to be taking place in 4 different cities in the United States at 4 different shops who will all be doing different parts of the build.
Ordering and shipping parts with 4 different cities has become quite a challenge.
So right now we have a bunch of parts sitting in Austin waiting for us. Our snorkel, our wheels, our winch, our tires are on their way.
Our air compressor.
That's right. And then in Tucson, we already have our external fuel tank waiting for us, and soon more things will be going to Tucson.
Brittany has her spreadsheets, and she's just a wizard when it comes to this, and she knows kind of where everything's at. We're getting it done. And at the end of the day, if you have a dream and it's worth pursuing, you got to do whatever it takes to make it happen. So we've been tackling one at a time, and it looks like we're getting started. It is 11 o'clock on Monday, June 7th, and we are dropping off Dauntless at Juniper Overland to get the build started. This is the last time we'll see Dauntless stock. He's going under the knife.
So currently we're in Denver, Colorado. It's the home of Juniper Overland, the first shop working on our build, and we will be here in Denver until June 26th.
And Josh and his team at Juniper Overland has graciously sponsored us. They're giving us a discount on labor and just really taking good care of us. So we're really thankful to be here and have them be the people with their first hands on Dauntless.
And he might be doing some custom fabrication work.
That's right. If he does, we'll show it to you.
Juniper Overland and Alu-Cab have partnered to provide us with a discount on what will be our actual habitat in the Gladiator, an Alu-Cab Canopy Camper.
The unit will sleep, all 3 of us. Caspian will sleep in the bottom, actually in the bed, and we are going to be sleeping up top in the rooftop tent portion. And in addition to that, we're going to have the Alu-Cab shadow on, the shower cube, the water tank, and possibly a few other accessories, all depending on weight and where we can store it. Those are huge determining factors, which will kind of make as a game day decision.
Alu-Cab, which is based in Cape Town, South Africa, provides some incredible and reliable products for overlanders. But the Canopy Camper is essentially an empty shell that owners can customize to their liking. In our heads, we were going to make custom cabinetry for our Alu-Cab Canopy Camper, and we were going through the whole process trying to pick what material we were going to use and how we were going to design it.
We had designed it on pieces of paper, we had drawn it out and everything.
But when we went on Goose Gear's website, we realized that what Goose Gear was already making was nearly identical to what we had envisioned, so it worked out so perfectly. We're so grateful to Brian Fulton and the whole team at Goose Gear for getting behind us as a gear sponsor with a significant discount. The first of many products that will transform our home is Goose Gear's brand new 60% high seat delete, which will be the platform for our fridge.
Yeah, our National Luna fridge, which was provided by Paul May and the fine folks at Equipt Expedition Outfitters. Thank you, Paul. We'll be sitting on top of that high seat delete. So in addition, Goose Gear has actually made an entire line of products for the Alu-Cab Canopy Camper, and we're pretty much getting everything.
Because they're awesome.
They're awesome. There's going to be a deck plate, 2 double drawer systems, 2 utility cabinets, a bulkhead, a sleep deck system, a corner unit. Just wait till you see it. The Goose Gear stuff is incredible.
Our electrical system is going to be top-notch, really reliable for our needs. We're going to be out in the middle of nowhere, and we won't always have people to repair our stuff. We're not mechanics, and so we are not the people who are going to be repairing it. So we're so grateful to have 4 different gear sponsors who have gotten behind us for our electrical needs.
The first one of those is RedArc Electronics, who's providing all the management of the electronics. They are hooking us up with a Manager 30 and a Red Vision system, And if you haven't looked at those, look them up. RedArc is like seriously top of the line for electronic management. We can't wait to have their system in Dauntless.
Renogy Solar is providing us with a 170 watt-hour lithium battery, which is going to power our whole lives. And in addition, they're giving us a ton of other awesome products for power, which we're definitely going to highlight all on their own in a future video about Renogy.
And that battery is going to be powered by 280 watts of solar provided by Cascadia 4x4. So we're going to have 200 watt panels on the roof of the Alu-Cab Canopy Camper rooftop tent section, and we are going to have 80 watts on the hood. And we purchased a Cotec pure sine wave inverter, which is going to convert all of that direct current into alternating current so we can actually use it. And the fourth company that's sponsoring us for this build on the electrical side is Rigid Industries. And I'm like a little fanboy, because if you've seen any of our videos, if you've looked at Guardian, I've been running Rigid Industries lights since I've been off-roading. I honestly believe they're the finest lights that you can get. And it was funny because when I talked to them and they said, okay, well, Eric, what lights do you want? And I said, well, I was hoping for like a 10-inch light bar and 2 pods. And their answer was no. And I was like, just the 10-inch light bar? And they said, no, that's not what we mean. If we're going to build your vehicle, we're going to do the whole thing. So they're doing light bar and pods, like double pods and rock lights and scene lights and everything, fog lights. I don't know. They just went crazy. They sent me this huge list and they're sending it to us. So thank you, Rigid. That's not what we were going to pay for originally, but because you're our sponsor, we're going to be able to take this around the world and you're going to help us in our journey. Thank you for that.
This is a really complicated electrical system, and we are so grateful that Josh at Juniper Overland is an electrician by trade, and we know that our safety is in such good hands with him because he's doing our whole electrical install.
Yeah, if you're ever in the Denver area and you want to talk about overlanding builds or anything, especially electrical work, make sure you stop by Juniper Overland and talk to Josh. That guy knows his stuff.
When we leave Denver on June 26th, we'll be leaving our Jeep Wrangler Guardian here in storage. And he will be here when we need to fly back to the States to visit our family and friends and to do public speaking engagements.
We'll actually be moving into Dauntless, even though he won't be finished. And then we're going to head down to Tucson, Arizona to meet up with our friend Brian Winkle, who's our next sponsor. And his company is Sonoran Expedition Collective, where he's going to be doing all kinds of cool stuff. If you don't know Brian, you got to get to know this guy. He is a wizard. He comes up with stuff that nobody else thinks about. He creates and designs them on his own, and then he finds a way to make them happen. So we are incredibly excited about what Brian's going to do to Dauntless. But in addition to that, he is the distributor for Long Range America. And Long Range America also became one of our sponsors, who's providing us a significant discount on a Long Range America fuel tank. This fuel tank is going to give us 17 gallons of additional fuel to add to the 22 that Dauntless already has. So effectively, we'll be able to carry up to 39 gallons of fuel in a Jeep Gladiator. There were several reasons for it. One of the reasons is you don't want to carry external fuel on a vehicle internationally where people can see it. Some places are starved for fuel, and so it becomes, a target of opportunity. In addition to that, you don't have to carry fuel all the time, so we don't have to add that weight if we don't want to. But in some countries, it's actually harder to get fuel, or it's more expensive to get fuel. And so in those cases, we're able to fill up that auxiliary fuel tank, have the extra fuel either at the cheaper price, or when we can get fuel, go ahead and get as much fuel as we can.
We anticipate finishing up at Sonoran Expedition Collective in early to mid-July, and then we'll be on our way to Albuquerque, our third stop for this build.
Our third stop is kind of a secret. So there's a shop in Albuquerque, I'm not even going to mention the name, because the owner of that shop is a very private individual. He doesn't even have social media, but he's a good friend of ours, and he's a well-respected fabricator and overland build creator in the United States and globally. His builds have been featured internationally in magazines, at expos, and everybody just walks by and drools over them. And we're really thankful that our friend is going to take a look at our build. We don't know exactly what he's going to do. He just said, hey, Eric, when you're done with your Gladiator, bring it by my shop because I want to walk around it, I want to look at it, and maybe I'll have some ideas. It's possible that he'll do some modifications, or maybe he'll just give us some insights, things to think about. We don't know. Either way, we're really grateful for that stop, and it's probably only going to be 1 or 2 days, and then we're heading out.
Our final shop is in Austin, Texas, and it really means a lot to us. We can't say enough about Just Jeeps in Austin, Texas. They are truly our shop, and they've been our shop since before we even knew what overlanding was, and definitely since before they were ever our sponsor. Robert White knows everything there is to know about Jeeps.
He's forgotten more about Jeeps than most people know.
We call him on the phone, and he's always able to correctly diagnose our issues without even seeing our Jeep.
They are doing our AV snorkel, our tires, our skid plates, our diff covers, pretty much everything mechanical that you can think of.
We are trusting Just Jeeps with the bottom half of our Jeep Gladiator.
Basically we're just going to hand him the Gladiator and say, Robert, do your thing. So he's going to take it from there. And in addition, Warren Industries became one of our sponsors, and they provided us a huge discount on their winch and their wheels, and they provided us a whole slew of other things like a recovery bag kit and Epic recovery shackles and a hub wireless controller. And we are so thankful to the team at Warren Industries and Andy out there. Thank you so much for getting behind us on this journey.
Once Robert and the team at Just Jeeps are finished with their work, we'll have been to all 4 shops in all 4 cities, and it'll be the moment of truth.
Dauntless is done.
In air quotes.
We hope.
Because then we're going to enter our shakedown phase, where it's time to test everything that's been installed, to see what we're missing, to see what's not working correctly, hopefully absolutely nothing.
And if there's anything minor that we find or anything that can be tweaked, we'll just take it back to Robert at Just Jeeps, and he'll fix it, no question. And then from there, we'll try and have a meet and greet in Austin. We have a lot of friends in the Austin area that are involved in off-roading and Jeeps and overlanding, and we'd love to have them out, show them the Gladiator. And then
we're going to Overland Expo.
We're going to Overland Expo Mountain West. So we'll be making the trek from Austin, Texas, all the way up to Loveland, Colorado.
Back to Denver.
And we'll be here at the end of August, and we'll have the Gladiator on display in the showcase area. And we want to see you there. So if you're going to be at Overland Mountain West, drop us a line in the comments and let us know. We'd love to meet you.
But it doesn't stop there.
No, because from there, we're going to take it from Overland Mountain West and go to the granddaddy of them all, Overland Expo West, where we'll again showcase the Gladiator, do some speaking engagements. And at that one,
there's a rumor.
There's a rumor. A little bird told me that we might be in one of our gear sponsors' booths. So we're not sure if that's going to happen yet. We think it is. We have it from a pretty good source. But when we find out, we'll be sure to let you know.
And that event is taking place in Flagstaff at the end of September. If you want to see our build in person, please come see us at Overland Expo, because once we leave the United States, that vehicle is not coming back. You will see us, but you won't see our Gladiator for 10 to 15 years, so kind of a long time.
And then when we're done with that, when we're done with Overland Expo Mountain West and Overland Expo West, then we get to pursue our dream. At that point in time, we'll be going back to Texas
to say one final goodbye, and then we cross the border into Mexico.
And the start of our global overland journey. If you have any questions at all about the build, about overlanding, about the journey itself, feel free to drop them in the comments below. We want to take you on this journey.
Absolutely, and our video series about our Jeep Gladiator Overland Build is just starting, so stay tuned.
Yeah, we've got a lot more coming. Not only are we going to talk about the individual components, so we'll be showing you the Alu-Cab in detail, we'll be showing you the Goose gear and the RedArc and all of that stuff.
Our electrical system.
All of that in detail, but we're also going to show you the equipment that we've chosen to carry along with us along this global trip.
So please subscribe to our channel, give this video a like, come see us at Overland Expo, and join us on this journey.